What I really wish I knew before starting my engineering career. Don't become an engineer until you hear this. Hello, my name is Karolina, I'm a mechanical engineer and I work for Porsche. I studied engineering in 2 different countries at 3 different universities, but didn't know a single engineer in my private life. Listen to this 8 advice that no one tells you during your university, and your engineering career will get a boost. Thing number 1, grades don't matter that much. It is really important to focus on the grades and academic performance in the beginning of your studies before you get the first project, the first internship, because this is the only way to evaluate your CV or your application. The number 1 thing that I always recommend to all the young students is to get experience as soon as possible. There is no perfect time to start, and I really think that you should not delay it. Doesn't matter if you're in the semester 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Of course, it may be hard in the beginning to get something at all. That's why you should just start applying. It won't happen? Okay, try harder, try different ways, but try to do it as soon as possible. When I hear from the students that they don't want to get extra student job, extra internship, because they are afraid that their grades will suffer, this is actually very counterproductive. Why? Because we are studying engineering in order to become later engineers, to do something practical. So if you don't want to get practical experience during your university, when it is actually so easy to collect a lot of different experiences and really realize what you want to do later, 3 doesn't make sense. Student time is really the perfect opportunity. You can do a lot of different projects, a lot of different internships, a lot of different working student jobs, and have opportunity to see the companies and everything from the inside. You will never ever have this opportunity later again. It's really not easy later to get all the jobs you want and switch them from one job to another. For sure, not in this amount, in this frequencies. When we are students, every semester really you can collect a different job experience. This is amazing treasure that we really don't appreciate, that we will never be able to have later on in real life. Thing number 2, university knowledge does matter. Ignore the hype. It's really popular right now to hear that university doesn't matter, that university diploma doesn't matter, that you don't learn actually anything at the university, but I really think that for engineering it does. Of course, you're not gonna use every single subject that you learn during your university at your practical job later on. And also it's possible that you will study one engineering with one specialization field and actually will work in a little different area later on. But it doesn't mean that the knowledge you learned during your university doesn't matter. The most important thing that we are learning in the university as engineers is to understand the complexity, is to have technical understanding, logical understanding, be able to very quickly comprehend new stuff, and wide variety of all the engineering subjects that you learned at your university will for sure help you in your job. I can guarantee you that any of my jobs, any of my engineering jobs, I wouldn't be able to do if I didn't study engineering. And you really can't take the person from the street, even the smartest person from the street, to do it without the proper education. Thing number 3. Engineering isn't about knowing everything, it's about problem solving. This point is a bit counterintuitive compared to the second one. In order to have successful engineering career, the balance is really important. If you are a good engineer, then you know that optimization is always the most important. You always need to find the optimum. That's why never go for the extremum. Don't focus extremely on only having the best notes. Don't also go to the other extreme and don't say that the knowledge from the university doesn't matter at all. Because always the balance and the optimization is the most important. Before I started getting my first engineering experiences, I always thought that they know everything, that engineers know everything. But since my internships times, I already know that actually being an engineer doesn't mean that you know everything, that you are a person that knows everything, but you are more like a creator. I always like thinking about engineers as creators, and really creative people. Being an engineer is actually being a problem solver. Why? In general, being an engineer, it means to create something new or make something better. Thing number 4, you will always work with people. Soft skills matter. I know that a lot of very tech-oriented people don't want to hear it, but soft skills matter. As an engineer, you will always work with people, no matter what. You can't be just a person that sits alone and does everything alone and be only focused on the technical part. As an engineer, you will work inside of your team with people as well as in cross teams with other teams, sales, marketing, developers, designers, other stakeholders. If you can't explain things clearly, if you can't sell your idea nicely, then your technical skills won't even matter that much because they can be simply ignored. Learn to listen, learn to present, learn to simplify. Thing number 5, learn to market yourself because no one will do it for you. This point is also connected to the previous one with the soft skills, but it's so important that I decided to put it in the separate section. In most of the engineering jobs, no one manages you or controls you on a daily basis. Your boss is usually very busy. That's why he will not know what you're doing, he will not know what you did well if you don't show them. It is important to share your work and talk about your results with your boss. Learn to do it properly. The 6th thing that I wish I knew at my university time is that there is really more career paths that you can really imagine. In the beginning of my mechanical engineering studies, I just thought that I will be a constructor because that was the main mechanical engineering job that everyone could imagine. But there is so many different options to explore. I'm not gonna tell you right now what these are. This can be also the topic for other video, but I really encourage you to explore. It's also okay if you don't know what you want to do yet. It's really okay. If you're at your university and you still don't know what you want to do, it's really okay. Use this time to explore. As I said before, it's really important to get a lot of different experiences because they will also make it clearer for you. Even when you still won't know what you really want to do, you can at least exclude what you really don't want to do. Use your time to explore and check different options. Job market for engineers is really unlimited. There is so many different areas, so many different topics that you can work on. Thing number 7, you will probably work in a corporate environment, but that's okay. Most of technical people, most of engineers, they just want to create, they just want to work technically, and they don't think about this corporate side of life. But engineering is always a part of a company. That's why meetings, processes, bureaucracy, it's also a part of the deal. You can't have one without another. Thing number 8, you don't have to stay engineer forever, and that's not a failure. Engineering job is very demanding, and it is really okay to move after a few years of technical experience into different area to explore project management, business, or anything you want. And don't think about it like leaving your engineer career behind, because engineering background will be always there with you, and it will play a big advantage role in any other career way you will choose. So these are the 8 things I wish someone told me during my university times. Let me know in the comment what advice would you give your, let's say, 5-year younger self. Thank you very much and see you next week.